I recently did a video that asked the question whether we have OpenMP for Android programming or not. And the answer, unfortunately, was no. In this video, we're going to ask the same question. Does OpenMP exist for iOS programming? iOS programming is normally done in Objective-C or Swift. OpenMP would be great since it offers a standard, and most people understand it fairly well. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist for iOS programming, but there have been attempts to develop similar approaches, such as GCD, which we will explore in this video. In order to parallelize Objective-C code, we need to employ other methods besides OpenMP. Okay, so before we write any parallel code, we need to write some code that gives us a benchmark. Okay, here I allocate memory buffer. Here I record the starting time. Here I loop through 10 million times and I calculate the square root. Finally, I calculate the elapsed time and put it into the label. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. And you will notice first parallel and second parallel have no results because we haven't done that yet. But for this sequential code, it took 1,228 milliseconds. Now for our first attempt to parallelize a for loop. Okay, so here's the code. Record the starting time. Set up a couple of variables. Okay, so this for loop is going to go through 4 times, once for each of the threads. Here I allocate a data structure. Now the data structure points to the results buffer. It contains the start and end indexes. In other words, we're going to take the original buffer and chunk it up into 4 sections. And finally, it just creates the thread, which will automatically kick off the function parallelcalc1, which will go through and calculate the square roots for that block. Finally, we're going to call join and wait for all 4 threads to finish, calculate the elapsed time, and put it in the label. Let's go ahead and run this now. Okay, a significant difference. The first parallel number is about 20% of the sequential number. So that was a significant savings in time. And we're going to take one more swing at parallelizing a for loop. Okay, in this time we're going to do something that is simpler than using straight threads. First, we record the starting time. Now we're going to use the GCD library, which has this thing called dispatch apply. And similar to OpenMP, it will manage spawning different threads to do the calculations. Okay, then we calculate the elapsed time. We put the results in the label. Alright, now one thing I did notice when I read the documentation, it says that GCD carries a considerable overhead for setup. So let's see if it ends up saving us time or not. Aha! Because of the overhead cost and the fact that we really didn't do that much, we really didn't have a lot of work to do, using GCD cost us time. Now, if we had a lot of gnarly calculations and there were a lot of things there that took a lot of time, then yes, we would save time. So unless we have a significant amount of calculations that happen in the for loop, GCD is not worth the overhead of setting up. So in conclusion, you can parallelize Objective-C code with careful planning. OpenMP for Objective-C would be really nice. Also note that GCD should only be used when the setup overhead can be overcome.